I find time for every kind of music. Classical, I was raised pretty much on Motown, but the classic rock. And gospel music is, I'm all about it on a Sunday. And if I want blues, I'll listen to B.B. King or John Lee Hooker as opposed to country music, which is just white blues. But I'm a huge reggae fan, huge reggae.
Really?
Not see that, I would not. No, most people don't, but it's important enough to me that One Love is displayed on my Twitter handle and on my Facebook.
Before we get into your thoughts on the league, Bruce and I have talked, and Chief have talked throughout the week about this XFL. Very warm welcome, pretty good viewership on TV. I think as most people thought. Your thoughts
Football
on
was
the first
okay.
game?
Football was all right.
Yeah, way higher attendance than they thought, but a little bit more handle in Vegas than they thought. But it still wasn't NFL, but it was exponentially higher than what the AFL first weekend was, or the FFFL, or that other league that folded last week, which you guys corrected me on.
Sorry, Dale.
But I'm glad you segue me into that, because I heard you guys talking a little bit about what the ratings would do this week, and I would tell you, don't be too surprised if they hold up again. In a column that appears in ESPN today, it's called All In on Gambling, XFL Embracing Betting. From the get-go, the last paragraph is the XFL's President Pollock saying, for a lot of our fans, free play to gaming, fantasy, and legal sports have become as essential to the football experience as the helmet, ball, and jersey. So we got to understand that this is not 61-year-old Willie Lanier fan Lou Finicaro as a fan to these sports. These are young kids playing video games and such. That's why the XFL has been so in tune to do two things: totally speed up their game and completely embrace gambling. And because it's embracing gambling and because football's king in America, I would submit to you that we should wait and see what those ratings are. I think they'll be good again.
Yeah, I want to say, XFL has fully embraced the NFL fan, meaning the first game, bettors were tortured. The under-over in that Seattle-Washington game, that was the first game last week, was anywhere between 50.5 and 52, depending on when you bought in.
Yeah, I mean, and you said it right, bettors. That means the supposed sharp guys.
Correct.
And the other guys. Everybody pretty much. And my hypothesis pick got buried.
Listen,
right?
you know
That's why we did the hypothesis.
And you know this. Every week we come on here and talk about the wagers that you got stuck to because you needed another half a point or whatever. So in this goofy Seattle-Washington game, the under-over is like 50.5. It's 31-19 with 13 minutes left in the game. If you bet the over, hey, I'm going to win this thing going away. Hey, you never got another point. That's what I'm talking about. Those bad beats, okay, that Scott Van Belt talks about, it started right away. The XFL has jumped right on the NFL bandwagon for tortured wagers.
I would disagree with that because I showed you last year that I beat the NFL.
Yes, you did.
And I would tell you that what you just said just needs some fine-tuning, and that is that the XFL is beating everybody in there that shouldn't be in there and doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
Did Vegas win or lose last week?
They did well. When the bettors lose, Vegas builds hotels.
All right, so now you're not, by the way, if people want to get a hold of you on Twitter, it's at Gamb, G-A-M-B, Lou, at Gamblou. And then by email it is? It is lou@gamblou.com. And as I will do every week that you'll be good enough to have me on, I want to thank you for devoting some time to the profitable sports gaming world because it's only growing, and hopefully the ratings for your show continue to grow. Otherwise, I'm going to get the hook. Otherwise, he's going to jump ship and take it. I will say this though: when I do put releases out, and I will put one out today with 3 more hypotheses. When I put them out, I put them out to win. I will stand by what my record is at the end of this XFL, and I'm going to tell you all now that in 10 weeks it's going to be winning, and that's why I'm not in a hurry to bet when I don't know. Okay, so last week, no official release. He will have an official release this week, but he's going to give you a bunch of games. So you're still in a feeling out process. The
Yeah, but I feel I'm given 3 this week, and I feel really good about them. I feel good enough to bet them, except I'm not an action better. I'm an advantage better, and so when I have advantage, and that I don't know when that's going to be. I hope it's week 3 because I want to give releases, but I'm only going to give one when I put my name on it, and it's going to win.
So would you say that you are an advantage better, and as an example of an action better, say somebody who lost 3 bets in the opening weekend of the XFL, like Eric Cohen, would be an action better?
Next to action better in the dictionary is Eric Cohen's face.
Okay, all right, just a second.
And I'm not trying to degrade him right there. He's a young man that's learning. And listen, I didn't start out this way. When I was young, I was Mr. Action, and I did some research and everything, but I had no clue what I was doing. In the old days of Vegas, I wish when I was in late high school and early college, when I was there, I was paying more attention because I'd go to the Stardust, that the movie Casino was based on, and I went to Little Caesars, all these famous places, but I was young and square as Eric, and I didn't know what I was doing. But if Eric stays with it long enough, he's gonna be good. He might make a buck or two of this. I'm not trying to degrade the young man. He's young and he's new in his development.
Young and eager.
If anybody learns anything from me, you said it, Dale. Please learn that if you're going to do this, and listen, some guys got boats, some guys have a bike. You got a boat, you got to pay gas, you got to put it in a slip, it's a monthly charge, okay? You want to gamble for recreation? Be my guest, that's fine. But if you're going to do it for a business like me, then you must be an advantage gambler, not an action.
All right, so let's talk about, will you give us in any particular order you like?
Well, let's go in order of the games. The first game in 2 1-0 teams from the East Division. The East Division has 3 1-0 teams and 1 0-1 team, and the West is 3 0-1s, obviously, and 1 winning team. New York Guardians against the DC Defenders. DC Defenders opened up, 7.5 or so. And there's been a little stream of money in on DC is now minus 6.5 to the New York Guardians. Both teams won last week. You got DC that looked good with Cardell Jones, Eli Rogers, and they beat Seattle. New York Guardians showed defense. McGoyne looked pretty good.
My man, Matt McGloin of Penn State University.
Yeah, and that's Kevin Gilbride, and they won a good game. The Guardians are going to score in this game, and I know DC's at home. They play at Audi Stadium. It's going to be 40 degrees there. I think that DC is giving too many points, and at 6.5, a hypothesis bet, or a bet that we'll talk about next week, is New York Guardians. They're going to score against the DC Defenders, and I think 6.5 points is too many. So there's the first game. Second game, Tampa at Seattle. This is a game that Tampa Bay opened 2.5. A team with a lot of hype at the beginning of the season. Trestman, they got all the names. Trestman head coach Jerry Glanville. They scored no points last week.
Boy, Trestman and Glanville together.
Yeah, think of that mixture. But they resulted by giving up points on Jerry's side and scoring none on Trestman's side. Murray's their quarterback. He got hurt. They put Quentin Flowers in to play quarterback and try something late in the fourth quarter.
He's a kid from South Florida.
He's a running back that they put back at quarterback. So to me, I think